Hello. Good morning, good evening. I'm Janice, and this class is a kind of slow yoga, yinish with a little bit of yang, a little bit of activity, of more heated movement. And I thought that at the very beginning, we'll just maybe be sitting down, and we'll just you can sit comfortably like this, or however you like. Really, I like sitting like this since I was a little kid, I think. All right, so I'm just going to collect myself and breathe, and I'm just inhaling and exhaling, and I'm going to use my breath by touching my belly, inhaling through into my belly, and then my side ribs, and then hooking my thumbs under my armpits and inhaling in my chest. So it's 3-part breath, and then exhaling through my nose. So I'm inhaling, inhale, inhale, I'll slow the pace down a bit since I'm gasping for air. Inhale, good, and just continue breathing. And you might want to extend your exhalations a little bit longer than your inhalation. So we'll go 1, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. Good. Now we'll just bring our hands together and we'll press into them, press into our wrists. And then we'll take our wrists the other way and we'll press into those, into our, good. And then we're going to take our thumb and we're going to pull it down. And we'll take the other thumb and pull it down towards our wrist. And then we're going to clasp our hands, stretch them out, and stretch them up above us. And really stretch, really push into the palms of your hands and try to keep your ribs lowered so that your ribs are moving towards your hips. Your lower ribs are moving towards your hips, and your shoulders are really up around your ears here. And now pull your shoulders down, but keep your arms extended. And then lift your shoulders up around your ears, and then pull them down again, and then lift them up and down. And now we're pressing into our hands. Our fingers are extended. We're really stretching out as we draw down here. Good. We're going to take our arms out and we're going to give ourselves a beautiful embrace because we're here on the mat together. And this is, congratulations, we're here. It's a lovely meeting place. And I'm giving myself a little rock here just to get my arms moving and my fingers and everything, the blood coursing through my body. Good. Now I'm going to just go behind with my hands, clasp my arms, and I'm stretching my arms out and I'm going to bend forward as much as I can. And if this is too much for you, just hold on to your elbows, or you can draw your arms up. You can just suspend your head, let it fall forward. And now we're going to come up, open our arms out again, and then shake them out. Good. Very good. We're going to do some work with our neck a little bit. Depending on your neck, you'll know the limits of it. I can't really move my head backwards. I have bone spurs in my spine there, a little bit of arthritis. So let's just drop our chin to our chest and look up your eyes. This is also a good eye exercise. Look up to the third eye between your eyebrows, and then lift your head up and drop it back as much as you feel you're able to, and look at your nose, the tip of your nose. And we're going to move back and forth here, looking up and then looking at your nose and looking up and looking at your nose. Good. And now we're going to look over it would be your left shoulder, and you're going to move your eyes as far as you can towards the left. And now we're going to move over the right shoulder and look as far as you can towards the right. And then we'll come back. And then the other direction. And now we're going to go in the diagonal, this odd little movement where we imagine that the side of our neck is trying to look up towards the ceiling, but we're keeping our shoulders level. And we're looking with our eyes up towards that corner of the room. So it's a kind of diagonal movement. Quite a nice one. Lovely stretch of the neck to get our bodies moving. And once again, the other way. And you can change your legs at this point. So if one leg is on top, move the other one on top. And you may find you need something. I have a wonky knee, so I put something behind it to give myself a little more space. So I'm just sitting here like this. And I'm just going to rest for a moment in whatever space we've created in these few movements and in some breath work. And we're going to return to the breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And I'm going to focus today on the notion of Ahimsa. And I've been thinking about this because I've been reading quite a bit about teaching yoga, as one does as a yoga teacher, and thinking about how we teach. And I watch a lot of YouTube videos and that sort of thing. And one of the teachers, this Sharon, Gannon, and David Life, who wrote Jivamukti Yoga, writes about Ahimsa, which is non-harming, and it is the first of the yamas, which are ethical restrictions. So the ethical restrictions are non-harming, truthfulness, non-stealing, continence, and greedlessness. So Ahimsa is a restraint, and it is a recommendation for how you should restrain your behavior toward others, not toward yourself. So some contemporary yoga teachers these teachers write, interpret Ahimsa more as an observance than as a restraint, as a directive not to harm yourself. Be kind to your body, they say. Not harming yourself is an aspect of Ahimsa, but it is of less importance than the directive to avoid harming others. If you limit your practice of Ahimsa to being kind to yourself, you will deny yourself the ultimate benefit of yoga practice, which is happiness. Everlasting happiness is achieved by putting the welfare of others before your own. And so compassion is part of this. And I think this is really interesting. Developing compassion is of special interest to the yogi. It trains the mind to see past outer differences of form. You begin to catch inner glimpses of the inner essence of other beings, which is happiness. You begin to see that every single creature desires happiness. Every single being desires to know the self, although this desire may not always be a conscious one. And there's a quote from the Dalai Lama: if you seek enlightenment, or even if you seek happiness, go to the cause. Nothing exists without a cause. The root cause of happiness is compassion. So I was just struck by that. And so we'll begin moving our bodies now with this echoing through our minds. One of my dearest old friends whom I had differences with her our whole life, our whole adult life, but we became kind of reconciled the last few years. And she's been very sick and she died yesterday. I feel this real sense of ahimsa, compassion for her. She had a very hard go of it. She was one of those miracles who exceeds all the doctor's expectations. So we're pressing through our feet here and we're connecting up with a sense of ourselves and the way we can develop an understanding of others through our differences and connect with what it is that makes us all living beings. And here I'm feeling as though I have something pulling my spine up and energy moving through the bottoms of my feet. And I'm going to fold over now as I go forward. And I'm holding onto my toes. You can hold onto your shins. You can hold onto your outer legs. And I'm folding over and rounding my back. And now I'm just going to come up with my arms raised and I'm going to go down again. We're going to do this a few times. And then I'm going to come up with my arms raised. And then we're going to go down again over our legs. Good. And I'm just going to rest here for a moment. My friend was a colleague and we went to graduate school together. She was a Virginia Woolf specialist. She was very, very brilliant. And she moved west to teach in the department. And a few years later, I moved west to teach in the same department here at the University of Alberta. So we spent, well, from the early 1980s on together in a way. And she wrote a book that's being published in August called Life in Pieces. And now we're coming up and we're opening out and down. So I'm looking forward to reading her memoir, A Life in Pieces. I'm putting my hands behind me, pressing into my hands and lifting my chest up. So this is a really opening. This is a back bend here because I'm pressing hard into the ground with my palms of my hands. And now I'm going to lift my arms up, give myself another embrace, both directions. And I'm going to just shake out my legs a bit here. Good. All right. So let's open our legs out and see how we feel here. So you might have your legs here, you might have your legs out here, whatever. There's no competition. You just do it where you're comfortable. I am going to put something, I have this little bean bag that I bought in a lovely Japanese store here, and I'm just going to sit on it to raise my hips up a bit, and that allows me to move. It gives me a little bit of a forward movement and helps me with my these postures. All right, so I'm sitting here on my high horse, as my mother would say, and I'm just turning towards your left leg, and I'm going to wrap the strap around my foot here and hold on to it just to allow myself to bring myself down over that leg with the straight back at first, and then I'm going to fold over. And I'm going to come up again, and I'm going to fold over the other direction. And you find that you have different abilities because we're definitely asymmetrical. So I'm using one of my hands to balance, and I'm holding onto my toes, and I'm pressing out through my heel because I want to feel the energy and the stretch in the entire back of my leg, not just my upper leg, my attachments at the upper part of that hamstring, because you don't want to overstrain those tendons at the top of your hamstring. And now I'm going to come up, and I'm going to rotate. I'm just putting my hands, I'm going to first go to the the left, and I'm putting my hand, one hand in front, one behind, and I'm just lifting my spine up and turning over to the side, and my eyes are moving over my shoulder. So I feel a really lovely twist here in my upper torso. We'll be doing more twists as we go along. And I'm going around the other way, and I'm thinking about what it is that gives us pleasure and happiness. Pleasure is underrated because pleasure actually makes it possible for us to function and to be good to others, I think. So I say, listen to good music, music you love, read good books, as Ian Brown apparently was talking about in the Globe and Mail. Read books that will inspire you and that will take you away from the quotidian worries that we often have, some of them very legitimate. Now, I'm just moving intuitively here. So you can move intuitively as you see fit. So I'm just running my fingers along the mat, holding on, twisting over my leg, and then I'm moving, sweeping across the front and holding on to the shin or the calf, and then, or the foot, and then drawing down if I can. And I'm using the backhand to give me a little bit of a push there. And I'm going to go back again and then do this one more time. Here we are. Good. And now I'm going to come up, and I'm going to move on to my hands and knees here. And I will just demonstrate cat and cow, which we do often. I'm spreading my hands out using the palms of my hands as though they're suction cups here. And my knees are directly below my hips. And my hands are below my shoulders. And I'm just lifting my belly up. And then I am dropping it down. And I'm lifting it up again. And I'm dropping it down. And I'm inhaling and exhaling here. I am exhaling when I draw my belly up, and I'm inhaling. when I curve my spine down. And exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Good. Now let's just lift up our right or our left arm and our right leg in bird dog, I think this is called. I, of course, have too much furniture because I have a collection of furniture that is a bit ridiculous. I'm a thrifter. All right, so we're just balancing here. Your arm is at your ear, your foot is pointing back, and you're really pressing into the hand and also the lower leg of the one that's on the mat. And now I'm going to drop it down, and I'm going to try it one more time. I am lifting up the other arm, the right arm, oops, and the left leg. Here we go. So opposite arm, opposite leg, and we're just balancing here. This is our first balancing pose. And we're breathing. And we should feel that our hips you could serve a T on them, on their hips. They're flat and they're level. And now we're going to lower that leg and come back into child's pose. So your knees are wide and you're coming down. If it's too much for you to do that, you can have a block underneath your glutes to sit on, and we'll just extend our arms forward and we'll open them out to the right, stretching, or sorry, to the left, to your left. And we'll breathe into our right ribs, side ribs here. And then we'll come the other way. We'll breathe into our left ribs here. Inhaling and exhaling, feeling our breath bringing life to our body. And then back to the center. And then we'll come up again. Now, I'm just going to rearrange my furniture here because it is not helping me at all. There we go. And I'm going to add one more mat here. So you can just keep breathing. And then I can give you a side view here. There we go. So we're down here, sort of, and we're going to lift our right leg up so that we're in a kneeling position. And we're just going to put our hands on our thigh and stretch up. Then we're going to lift our arms up and look up at our thumbs. And here we're just breathing, imagining the sun beating down on top of us. And then we're opening our arms out. And we're going to put our hands down and lift our back knee up so that we're in a low lunge here. And if you like, you can come down into a lizard. So this is, you're either here, you've got both your hands are on the inside of your foot and your back leg is extended. And you can lower down onto your elbows if that's in your wheelhouse, as they say, if we're on this ship together. And here, I'm just breathing. You can let your bent knee at the front just fall out a little bit as you're here resting. And now I'm coming up again, and I'm going to go into a plank. And I'm breathing here. I'm heating up. Things are heating up here. And I'm just going to hold in this plank because this is slow yoga, and holding, as we know from yin yoga, can be a very useful practice. And here I'm drawing my belly button in towards my spine. And I'm feeling as though my leg muscles are drawing in towards the bones. This is giving us an opportunity to really develop some subtle strengthening movements. All right. And now we're going to come down however you like, knees, chest, chin. I'm going to come down in chaturanga slowly. And then I'm going to press back up into a very low cobra. I'm a bit stiff this morning. Very low cobra here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my hands in front of me in Sphinx. So I'm on my forearms. I guess you can't see actually. There. So I'm on my forearms now, and I'm in Sphinx. And this is a very gentle back bend. It shouldn't be too much of a strain. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders, and you're not feeling any strain in your neck at all. Good. Now we're going to move into another yin posture, which I think is seal. And you're extending your arms out towards the width of your mat and straightening your arms. So it's a deepened back bend here. And you want to continue your breathing. Your chest is open. So you should be able to breathe deep into your belly, into your low ribs, into your upper ribs, and then exhale. And I can feel a real stretch in the front body, as well as an opening of my chest. And you can work with this to find the best space for your body to assume. In yoga, we're developing our proprioception, that is, the sense we have of our own body's movement in space. And this is really excellent to develop because it helps us in our everyday mobility, our walking, our standing, our moving. Good. And now we're going to come down and we'll just rest our head, our cheek on our hands here. We'll feel a sense of release. And we're breathing evenly here. And we're feeling a sense of ease. So we're moving between sthira and sukha, between strength and sweetness and ease. And now we're going to draw our hands out beyond our shoulders onto our fingertips. And we're going to keep our elbows up in the air, and we're pressing into our fingers, and we're moving into that back bend again. And back bends are known to release emotions. So you might feel feelings welling up. That's fine. You just feel them and then let them go. Just feel the emotions and then you let them go. And now we're going to come down and put our hands on under our under our cheek. And now we're going to put our fingers out again and do that lovely back bend. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling whatever comes up. You experience it, you acknowledge it, and then you let it go. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're coming down. And we're going to put our hands underneath our shoulders. And we're going to lift ourselves. First we'll lift our shoulders up, and then we'll lift our chest up, and then our head will come up. And then we'll press it into the ground and come up as far as we can with our hips on the ground. And then we're going to roll back down. And we'll do that one more time. And this time we're going to lift our legs up. Now, you'll notice that my legs don't come up very far. Such is life. They do not come up far. So you have your own body. It has its own pleasures, disciplines, and limitations. So let's press into our hands, and we can lift our shoulders, our chest, our head, and also our legs. Stretching your toes out, lifting everything up, pushing into your hands, pushing into your pelvis, and stretching out through your toes. Good. And down again. This time we're extending our arms out in front of us, and we're going to do the same thing with arms extended and legs. Inhale and then exhale and then inhale. Up we go. Breathing here and extending and then coming down. Good. Now we're going to come back into child's pose and rest for a moment with a little bit of a forward bend here as a counter pose to the back bends over our legs. And you can bring your hands behind you if you like, so that they're beside your feet. And if you like, you can sit on a block and just feel a sense of, well, I feel a little bit of exhilaration. The movement offers me really great pleasures and exhilaration. And I'm thinking about the bliss of teaching and how sharing the pleasures of movement with others is a genuine gift. Now we're going to come up, and we will bring our right leg forward, and we'll have our other knee below us. If this should be the opposite leg from the last time. It may not be. I think maybe I did the other leg. So, okay, bring your right leg forward, your left leg forward. Good. And now we're going to come up, look up, and then open our arms out. And then we're going to come down. We're going to extend our back leg and straighten it. So we're pressing into our foot. Now, if this is too much for you, just leave your knee down, but you can lift it up. And I'm just here with both hands on the inside of my foot, and I'm going to go down if I can. And you don't have to, but if you can go down onto your elbows, go for it. And as you can see, my knee is moving out a little bit to the side. I'm really pressing into the floor with my feet and with my toe. I'm pushing the back heel back, and I'm feeling the opening that the lizard offers us. It's a very strong pose and a very nourishing one. And I'm breathing here. And now I'm lifting back up onto my straight arms, and I'm going to bring that foot back, and I'm placing my hands into a downward dog and pressing into my heels. So we're really working to open up our body. And just in downward dog, we're breathing. We'll take 5 breaths here. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, out, in, out, and we're going to lift our left leg up and bend the knee, bring it in, and touch the opposite elbow, and then stretch it back out again. Going to bring that knee in the center and stretch it out again. Bring it in and touch the same elbow, and then stretch it out again. And I'm up on my tiptoes here because this is a very good toe stretch. Now I'm going to lower that heel, bend that knee, drop the foot towards the glute. See if you can arrange the hips, the one on top of the other, approximately. Breathing here. And now stretching the hand out, the foot out, and bringing that foot down. And we'll do the other side. We'll bring the knee in, opposite, and then back, center, and then back, same side, and then back. And then we're up on our tiptoes, and we're going to lower that heel, drop the knee, bend the knee, and lift one hip on top of the other. There we go. Catching our breath, feeling the breath course through the body, and then stretch that leg up, bring it down, and then let's walk ourselves forward. So we're in a forward bend, hang suspended over it, and then we're going to come up, draw our hands up our calves into a halfway lift, and then slide down and open our arms up. We'll come all the way up, looking up. Our chest is up, looking at our thumbs, and then opening out. Good. We can roll our arms back. We can roll our arms back to make sure that we have good shoulder movements. And there. Now you may want to strip down a bit because everything is warming up. And we're now in the middle of the class with some time to spare. And so we're going to do a couple of sun salutations. Here we go. Looking up, opening out, coming down, halfway lift, inhaling, exhaling, and then left leg back, right leg back into a plank. And we're going to hold here, and now we're going to come down and press back into an upward dog or a cobra. Flip our feet around, come back into downward dog. And then our left foot is coming forward, dropping that right knee and coming up and looking up. And then down. Good. Now, let's just, once again, let's work on developing a pose here that is a pigeon. So I'm letting my foot creep across, Now, some of you will have your foot with a right angle. I find that impossible. So I point my feet and I have it on the diagonal. And then I slide my back leg back and just use my hands here to offer my back a lovely bend, an arch. You want to be careful of your neck here and not jut your head back. And we're just breathing here. And if you like, you can go down into sleeping pigeon, if that's available to you. Otherwise, you could come up on blocks here if you need it. Or you can just stay in the upright position. You decide what you need to do. And I'm just breathing here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now I'm going to walk my hands in, feel myself once again in that upright pigeon, and I'm going to change my legs. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to put my toes into the ground in the back, come back into a plank, and draw the opposite knee forward on the diagonal, pointing my toes. If you have a right angle there, you want to flex your foot. So there are different foot movements depending on where the angle of your front knee. This is to protect your knee. So anyway, here I am, upright pigeon, feeling very pigeon-like. Very lots of plumage here. All right, down we go, onto our elbows if we like, or we can go down onto and extend our hands out into sleeping pigeon. So you decide the position that will nourish you. And of course, there shouldn't be any pain. There might be discomfort, but it shouldn't be pain. And you'll want to know your body well enough to make sure that you don't endure pain. Okay, now we're coming back up. And I'm just going to scoot around onto that one hip. And I'm going to see if I can lift that back leg up to extend that quad. So I've got one hand here and I'm going to reach back for that foot and draw it in here and see if I can, what's happening here. That feels quite good in a way. I'm just opening up the front quad here. And then I'm going to drop that leg down and I'm going to come back into a child's pose for a moment. Then I'm going to draw the other leg forward. So this would be your left leg, I think. And this one back. And I'm going to reach around for that foot. And I'm going to hold on to it if I can. You could use a strap here. And I'm just drawing it in. This is a stretch for the right quadricep. And I'm extending that out again, going back onto my hip. And we'll do a couple of twists here because we can. Here we go. So I've got you can have this front leg extended out if you like, and your right leg over top of it, bent, your foot alongside the thigh, or you can fold that knee in. And here I'm going to reach my right hand behind me and push into the floor. So I feel the opening in my chest, lift my arm up, and then rotate around keeping my arm straight, pressing into my thigh, and giving myself a lovely twist. You can also just hold on to that leg and twist. You decide what your best effort is. And we're inhaling and exhaling here. And I'm thinking of the transformation of energy and how we as mortal human beings move from one life form to another. And now we're coming back and stretching our legs out, taking your right knee over top of your extended leg, bending that leg if you like. And am I doing it the wrong way? Oops, the other way. Sorry, dear. This one. Okay. Taking your left leg, bending your left leg, bringing the other one in, and then lifting your right arm up and moving it so that you can twist and rise up at the same time. This is really a movement from your waist. You're rising up and turning. So don't feel that you are going to be slouching into this posture. No slouching. In fact, there's a little bit of a back bend here because you're pressing into that backhand. And we're just breathing here. And now I'm coming around and I am stretching my legs out. And I'm just going to move forward for a moment and see where I am, because we've done some movements in between, and see how your movement forward is. Perhaps you're looser than you were before. Perhaps your legs or your hamstrings have loosened up a little. And now we're going to come up and we're going to go down one more time. Exhaling. And then we're going to come up, inhaling, and then we're going to come down. And one last time. We're coming up, and then we're extending down. Good. Now we're going to roll up, and we're going to come to a standing position. And we're going to do an eagle. Now my eagle is very modest. I put a block beside my foot on the outer edge of my, in this case, would be your right foot. And then I'm going to lift my left leg up, and I can either wrap it around this other leg, which I cannot do. So I'm going to just rest my toes here. And I am going to bend my knees. And while you're doing that, you can either just wrap your arms around with your opposite arm below. So in this case, it's your left leg that's in front, and it would be your right arm that's underneath. Or you can use you can wrap it around and then back of the palms together and then the front of the palms together, and raise your elbows up and draw your hands forward. So this is a very good shoulder opening while you are lowering down into eagle. These are eagle arms, eagle legs. We are flying here in flight, transformed energy from a woman to a bird. Inhaling and exhaling in flight. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we are opening our arms out and lifting our leg up. And then we'll put the block on the other side. Oops. And lift that right leg up, cross it over onto the block or around your other leg, and You can sit down here, and your other arm is coming underneath, and you are once again pressing your elbows up, pressing your hands outwards, and you are sinking down. Your back should be parallel to the wall behind you. We're sitting into this, really feeling a lovely sense of grounding with our feet. And now we're lifting up and out, and I'm just coming down into a forward fold just to shake it out a bit. Okay, good. Now, I think that we will do very short standing pose. So we're turning our left foot out, right foot in. We're putting our hand in the hip crease, shifting our hips back, both legs straight, really pressing into, lifting our toes up, pressing into our feet, and dropping our hands down, and extending both sides of our body, and then looking up, turning up. And now we're going to bend that knee, that front knee. You might readjust and stretch your arms out. And then shifting forward into an extended side angle pose where we're on the diagonal, and we can look up towards the upper hand. Feeling our chest open up to the ceiling. And now we're going to drop our hand to beside our foot or a block. You decide what you need here. And I'm going to straighten that leg up and do a reverse triangle here. So we're moving through these quite quickly. And we're going to windmill up and go into a triangle on the opposite side. Hips, once again, hand in the hip. Shift your hips back. Extend your arm forward, forward, forward. Then drop it down to where it's comfortable and look up. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're going to bend our front knee, turn the back foot is already on the diagonal here, and extend our arms out into warrior. Feeling, I'm stretching my fingers out. I love the vitality of this pose, the liveliness of it. Both of our thighs, each of our thighs is rotating out. Our front knee is over top of our ankle. And now we're stretching forward, 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 and back, back, back at the same time, forward and back. And then we're dropping our forearm down into extended side angle. You can also have your hand on the ground here. And now I'm going to take a block here, because this side I'm a bit stiffer. And I'm just going to put my hand on that block, straighten the front leg, and turn into a reverse triangle. And I'm pressing into the outside edge of my back foot and the front foot, and I'm really pushing my thighs back. So I'm really straightening my legs. If you hyperextend, keep a little bend in your legs, but otherwise push those thighs back to really straighten your legs. And now I'm rotating up with a windmill, and I'm coming down. And now I'm going to go down onto my mat for some final moves that will help us to really relaxed. So I'm just going to demonstrate here. We're just going to put our legs as wide as the mat, and we're going to drop our leg down, really push up through this front hip flexor, and then the other way. And once again, you can push up through that front hip flexor here. It's a nice stretch. And then drop the legs the other way, pushing up here, and drop the knees, push up into the front hip flexor, and then come back. Now you can either just extend your arms out and drop your legs from one side to the other. I'm going to lift my left leg up, hook it over the right, shift my hips towards the left, and then drop my knees towards the right. This is a more a deeper twist, and I'm looking towards my left arm. And you can rest your hand gently on that upper thigh to deepen your twist a little more, but that is totally up to you. You don't want to strain anything. But this is a lovely, restful pose for me. Now we're going to bring our feet together, our knees up again. We're going to lift our right leg up, bend that leg over top of the left, and then scoot your legs to the right, dropping your knees to the left. And you can use your left hand on your thigh. It shouldn't be too much pressure, but it can just provide your legs some advice about deepening the stretch here. And I'm looking in the opposite direction, and I'm feeling my breath slow. And here, I'm in a deep rest. I'm extending my legs out now into Shavasana. If that's uncomfortable for you, you can put your legs up the wall. You can, if you like, you can put a block underneath your sacrum for a moment while you're in Shavasana, or you can just lay straight on the ground. You do whatever you like. You can keep your legs bent here. This is a little bit of an inversion, and you can stretch your legs out if you like. You do you, whatever it is that makes you feel relaxed. And while you're here, we're just resting. And we are thinking of Ahimsa, non-harming, a relationship we have with others that sees beyond differences, that allows us to ease into compassion and care. And that is like a boomerang. We send that compassion and care out, and we receive so much in return. And I'm sending love to my friend Joanne. You may have someone you're thinking of, you want to honor with your compassion and care in this moment. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm removing my block now and just moving into that sweet caress of my mat and feeling a degree of ease. You can do a body scan if you like. Your toes, your feet, your ankles, your shins, your calves, your knees, your thighs, all are relaxing. Your hips, your pelvis, your sacrum, your waist, your ribs, your chest, your breast, your back, your shoulders, shoulder blades, collarbone, your arms, upper arm, lower arm, your elbows, your wrists, fingers, palms, your thumb, your neck, your head, your scalp, the skin loosening on your forehead, on your chin, on your cheeks, your lips opening, your tongue falling into your lower jaw, your breath slowing. When you feel ready, you can keep breathing here. Stay resting, filled with the ease of sukha, the sweetness of your yoga practice. And I feel the liveliness of life returning to my fingertips and my toes. And I can feel my wrists rotating, my ankles rotating, my arms stretching up above my head, my legs stretching out below me. And now I feel a big breath incoming, filling up my belly, my chest, my upper chest. And then I feel myself releasing that completely. One other belly breath. And then exhale and release. And with the last one, the last exhalation here, I'm going to turn onto my side, press into the floor, and come up to a sitting position. And I'm going to thank you for being here with me. I'm going to dedicate the merit of my practice to all those who are suffering and all those who are grieving. The teacher in me salutes the teacher in you, and the student in me salutes the student in you. Thank you for spending time with me, and I'll see you next time.